Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
Oh, we're back for another episode of Abby's Window on this beautiful Monday. Well, I don't want to say beautiful for everyone. It just depends on where you are. It's nice and sunny here in upstate New York. Um, Abby, how is it there in the Midwest?
Sunny and 84.
Okay, so pretty nice. So depending on where you're joining us from, folks in the chat, it may be a beautiful day. It may be, gloomy, but hopefully we can brighten up that day if it's not going according to plan. So welcome as always. Um, I am joined by the one and only Jodie Gilly, your Abby, our Abby, the world's Abby. The world. Not just this chat, but the world. How are you today?
You know.
I got
Work was a little bit, eventful today.
Yeah.
Learned some interesting things, and some people are going to see a different side of me that they don't want to see.
We
should
have
know better. If you backstab an Aries, you will live to regret it.
It's called the F around and find out method.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna F around and find out.
Nope.
Is essentially what you're saying. So, just saying.
Well, you want to run your mouth about me? Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna try to brighten up that mood too. So, we're gonna talk about a couple things that are very important to Jodie. But first, we're going to welcome everyone. We're going to welcome everyone in, and then we will get started. So let's see. We have WWE fan, NS Productions, James Grant, Clay Gamble, Shane Loki, Dylan McClure, Dalton Riley, Jason Peace, Big Dan, Goblin Mask Pod, James Chadwick, Jesse Callan Corner, Robert Livingston. Let's see. I might have said Dalton Riley already, but you know what, Dalton, you're so awesome. You're gonna get your name heard twice. Annette Morris, Moda. What's up, Moda? We got a Moda alert. Beat Tazzy is in the house. Paul Healy joining us from Ireland. Sean saying hello. You got this. Let's see here. Linton Jonas. Rabbit Earl. I almost said Robert Earl. I don't know why I said Robert. It must be the medicine.
I was gonna say it's the meds.
It's the med. I was combining some names. Alicia P. Joe is in the building. Magic Banana 409.
I dig it.
Like it. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You did it anyway. You son of a Rare Kitty Balloonicorn. Love it still. John G. What's up?
James Chadwick talking about my English temper. Yeah. So not only am I an Aries and those are not people to cross, I'm also British. So yeah, I'm really the last person that you want to piss off.
Yeah, you don't want those problems. You don't want that smoke.
Nope.
You don't want the smoke. It's not like the Street Profits. Don't be like them and want the smoke with everyone. So, all right. So let me do this because we've got quite a few new people in the chat. So first off, we want to welcome you to the Insiders channel here, and welcome you to Abby's window. Aaron, I think I forgot to say your name. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Wally. Let's see here. I think that's it for right now. John G, we're going to answer a lot of questions and more, so we're going to get there. Don't worry, we're going to cover that. But if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. And drop a like on this video before you head out for the evening. I do want to let you know that we are doing a Raw watch along this evening. We will start that at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. So come back and join us tonight. We'll have the gang here, and yeah, we'll have some fun this evening. So but yeah, thank you for joining us if you're new, and all of you other folks that have been sticking with us from day one and have joined along the journey. Thank you for rocking with us as always, and drop a like on that video. I think Moda said that we're at like 14 likes, and we got 46 people in the chat right now, and watching us overall. So let's get those likes up, shall we? All right. One of the things that we do, not wrestling related, and it doesn't always have to be, but it's love. It's love here. What's up, Sean Suslowitz? Jesse saying she's excited that we're doing a Raw watch along. If I get loopy by the end of the night, it's just the medication. That's all. I'm gonna try my best. But yeah, one of the things that we do is we have a segment called Caleb's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go right to Caleb's Corner. So Jodie, what do you have this week for Caleb's Corner? And for the new people, just explain to them who Caleb is and all that good stuff, and then we'll go from that into all the Windham questions and news that we have at this point, and hopefully answer some other questions for some folks.
So Caleb is a singer, and I first heard him sing back in December. And my husband took me to a Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert, and this guy comes out on stage and starts singing this song, and I was in the middle of a crazy career spiral, and I don't know, it was just one of those moments where you got smacked in the face in a good way. And that was kind of it as far as I said, I was sitting there going, who the heck is this guy? I need to find out who this is. So thank goodness they introduced him later. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known what his name was. Not that I wouldn't have found out, but they introduced him later. I went on, a research spike and found out that not only is he a very talented singer that travels with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, he also has his own band called Caleb Johnson and the Ramblin' Saints. He also travels with a Meatloaf's band, the Neverland Express, and sings in Meatloaf's spot and does a fantastic job at it. So I kind of started following him around a little bit anytime that he was nearby Indianapolis. Or even not so near Indianapolis. I've driven to Tennessee, and we'll be driving to Nashville in September, and drove to Asheville, North Carolina. So yeah, I've kind of followed him around a little bit. I've met him 3 times now. He ended up following me on Twitter, which was pretty awesome, although he really sucks at checking his DMs. So
Bazinga.
He did forewarn me that he's really bad about that. And, somebody else over here is also, not good about responding to DMs, but I always know he reads them, and that's okay. So yeah, he's undoubtedly one of my favorite people on the planet, just like Windham is too. So
there you go.
He just needs to get better at checking his DMs.
There you go. We'll set off the air horns for that one. Check your darn DMs.
Anyway, he did a show on the day of SummerSlam in Wisconsin with his band. I don't really know how it. I'm assuming that it went well. I've been kind of avoiding social media a little bit, so
yeah, I got you. Well, is that it for Caleb's Corner this week?
I'll be seeing him September 9th in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. Well, someone else that you'll be seeing
in November,
and we want to shout this out again. We do this every week, but anytime we have any meet and greets or anything going on, we like to shout those out. So 2-day event for Windham Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt. So 2 dates, November 19th in Toledo, Ohio, and November 20th in Michigan at 12 Oaks Mall from 1 to 4, both of those days. If you're in those areas, go check those out because, it's awesome to meet Windham. We got a chance to do that in March. Big group of us went here in Albany, is where I'm located. So
this is where that picture came from.
Yep. So if you can see that picture, that's where that awesome picture was taken. It was a lot of fun. And if you get a chance to meet him, go check him out. Go meet him.
He is as wonderful as everybody says that he is. He's a big old teddy bear. He's such a nice guy. He has an insane memory. Like, he remembers conversations that he and I have had that I don't remember. So,
I just
he sets the bar pretty high when it comes to like celebrity friends, for sure.
Yeah. And I'll always, I don't know how I've taken being called big before, but when he said it, it seemed very nice and kind.
Yeah.
He was like, "Damn, you're a big dude." I was like, "Yeah, thank you."
Which is funny considering that
He's
a pretty big dude too. That dude has some wide shoulders.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So for him to say, "You're a big dude," and we had a conversation about
football
the whole time. So that was pretty cool. Alicia saying it's my birthday in less than an hour. Okay. Glad I'm with my family on here this time. Well, Alicia, you know what?
Do it.
Because it's your birthday, we're gonna play this birthday drop. And have a happy birthday. Folks in the chat, wish Alicia happy birthday if you don't mind. But here you go, Alicia. Here's a happy birthday from us.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, Alicia.
I got a new toy in the mail today.
Oh,
that'll make my my homeboys happy.
That's cool. That is so cool. All right, so we didn't have a chance to go into this because I saw someone asking this earlier, asking about Logan, if he's doing well. We had to cancel before because Logan needed to be seen, and if anyone knows us, that family comes first. And as much as we would like to do this full time, we can't. We all have day jobs and everything, so we have to do that, and we all have families as well. So sometimes we have to be, well, in this case, Jodie had to be super mom and take care of that little fella, and so quickly before we get into all the pressing Windham news, how's the little guy doing?
He's doing fine. I don't know, it was just this weird 72-hour bug, but he, he's a flirt. So he was flirting with all the nurses, and
that a boy.
Yeah, flirting with all the nurses, and the PA that saw him was a female, so he's flirting with her too. And All he asked for when they were starting his IV is he wanted to watch Fighting Gravity. So Kayla's video Fighting Gravity. So I put that on for him while he was getting his IV started. And then afterwards, he wanted me to tell, he said, Mommy, can you tell Caleb and Bray how brave I was? So I had to send a little message to let them know how brave he was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think we got some stuff to talk about. Just a little bit, as we always do. So we'll start here. Speaking of Nashville, you talked about Nashville earlier. A lot of people were expecting Windham to possibly show up in Nashville at SummerSlam, and the event, which, by the way, shameless plug, go check out our watch along. I thought it was a great watch along. I hate that I couldn't be more of a part of it, but I was in the chat. But I thought it was a really, really good show from start to finish. I thought that it was really good.
Can you say that you've never seen anybody drive a tractor to the ring before anymore?
And you said tractor to lift up the ring.
Yeah.
And tip someone out of it. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Big Dan. calling Logan saying his pimp game is up there. So
yeah, his dad was kind of proud of that too.
There you go. When it comes down,
that even when he's miserable, he's still flirting.
There you go. But let me ask you this. What did you make of Windham not showing up? And do you think that's a reason for Windham fans to get discouraged that he's not going to possibly come back to WWE?
I don't think there's ever any reason for us to get discouraged. He has said it numerous times. It's all about timing. It's got to be right. And now having, before we watched SummerSlam, we were like, oh, it's perfect. It fits, blah, blah, blah. Now going back and knowing what happened at SummerSlam with all the other returns that we got, it wouldn't have fit. He would have, I don't want to say gotten lost, but, if and when he decides to come back, he deserves that spotlight. He shouldn't have to share it with 4 other people returning at the same time.
Right. Because again, that was such a jam-packed show.
Was.
From start to finish. I mean, literally from the first match, having 3, returning people, one from injury, one from one from contract obscurity with EO, and then Dakota Kai re-signing with the company. I mean, that was tremendous. So
if anything, I think all of those things give me more hope that he might come back.
Well, that's the other thing that I was going to ask you is that, a lot of people have seen it as, well, if he was going to come back, he would have come back with Edge or something like that. I don't buy into that, but you just said it. You think that should give some more hope that it's a possibility that he comes back?
Still a possibility he could join Edge. Just because Edge came back doesn't mean he still isn't going to need help.
Right. I mean, there's still that story. I mean, you're still going to need another person potentially.
Even the commentator said that during that whole segment, is that Edge is going to need people. Mm-hmm. I think they even said something about Judgment Day needing people, that they're recruiting people.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pieces of the puzzle are there. And I think at any point he could pop up anywhere. And him. He'll do it when we least expect it. We all expected it on Saturday.
Yes.
He'll show up when we least expect it. Yeah. Which, as Bray fans, we're going to expect it all the time. There's always going to be that little voice in the back of our head going, could it be Raw tonight? Could it be SmackDown? Could it be Raw next week? Could it be the next pay-per-view? Like, We've been doing that for a year.
Right.
But
so yeah, I mean, we've been waiting.
When we least expect it.
Yeah. We've been waiting. Some of us, Muhammad, he's not with the Mysterios though. Don't think that that's going to be a part of his faction or anything. I think he
that's a
came up.
short term.
Yeah, I think that he was there because he's got beef with Judgment Day, and he was there to kind of say, okay, I'm serving you notice right now that I'm back, and you have folks. I'm going to recruit and get more folks too, and we're just gonna fight this thing out eventually. But I don't think the Mysterios will be a part of that Edge thing. Let's see. Big Dan saying, I'm going to say this. If Windham is meant to return to WWE, he will. We all love him, but let's also enjoy this new era of WWE. We've gone from 3 yards in a cloud of dust to a modern outfit. I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, you definitely felt Triple H's presence on that pay-per-view. And I think given how awesome that pay-per-view was in general, there's a lot to be hopeful for the company.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about it. I mean, today there have been rumors that Sasha and Naomi are back.
I would love that.
That would be awesome.
Like Triple H seems to be doing a lot of work on building up the women's roster, which is awesome. Like, that's something that's definitely been lacking a little. Now now they have those 3 women back, potentially 2 more, and time to start building up that roster. And I think he's going to have a fresh eye on things.
Right. I mean, with him bringing back Dakota Kai, here's what I think, and I'm going to throw this question to you. I think that is, I think it's really good for people that have been released over the last year. I think that you could see Triple H making some phone calls, some overtures to people like Johnny Gargano, who didn't re-sign. I think that you could see him reaching back out to a certain Cross dude. I think and a woman named Scarlett, I think is what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think if he's going to reach out to all these people, I think that the appetite. Let's just be honest, and I'll ask you this question, Jodie. Triple H is well aware that us fans desperately want Windham back in WWE, right?
If he's not, he's an idiot. No offense. Like, you can't go on social media anymore without hearing about Bray, and that's that's a credit to how awesome he is as an athlete, as talent, how talented he is as a storyteller, but it's also a credit to us too. We've kept talking about him over the past year, where he has a very dedicated, passionate fan base, and we don't go down without a fight.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
and Windham knows that, and I think Triple H knows that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that can be said for the fan base keeping. I mean, every time the guy tweets out, and we're going to talk about a tweet, as a matter of fact, here in a couple minutes, but every time the guy tweets out
anything,
he's trending. Anything. Yeah. He's trending every single time. So
he could tweet out, like, I don't know. I don't even know. He could tweet out anything, or just a bunch of letters speaking gibberish, and he would start trending. He could tweet out just hi.
Yep.
That's it. The internet would break.
Yeah, he would trend. So let's go over some recent activity. Some of this is probably old hat for a lot of you at some point, at this point. But he put up a new bio a little over a week ago. And it
Mhm.
says, "Begin again, kid, is what you do." And this is a quote apparently from Vince McMahon. Well, the day that he put this out, there was a little bit of breaking news with Vince.
A little bit.
Vince announcing his retirement from the company. Some people are saying good riddance. Some people gave Vince his flowers. Other people are saying don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, as George Jefferson used to say.
I
Uh,
mean, you have to have some respect for for Vince, because he built the Yellow Brick Road. Everybody else is just following that foundation. He did a lot of things that nobody else could do.
a lot of when it comes to wrestling, Vince
Mhm.
had a game plan of taking wrestling global and making it a larger than life spectacle and production.
And that's exactly what he did.
And that's what he did. And
Yep.
for that I salute the man
Hmm.
for making wrestling um and listen, there were great there was great wrestling before Vince McMahon. There's going to be great wrestling after Vince McMahon. But what he did with WrestleMania and a lot of the spectacle events and all of that, he pioneered a lot in the wrestling business. So we got to give him thoughts, those props. But you can also have other opinions of him as well. Um,
I mean,
Isaac,
he wasn't perfect,
no,
but he did a lot. Like I said, he did a lot of things that iconic things. So
yeah. Isaac saying it's almost like Bray knew about Vince's retirement. The timing was weird with this quote, in my opinion. And
mm,
that's the other part that I wanted to bring up to Jody before I go through the rest of these Twitter changes. Is that, I mean, you think about that. You put that quote out there as your new bio.
I mean, that quote's been up there for a long time, but he added that VKM to
Yeah.
the end of it.
And think about that. I mean, the timing was impeccable, um, as it always is with him. It's always impeccable. And
That's what he's good at.
yeah. And let's see. I mean, he was retired within hours or the next day or whatever it was. So
It was the next day.
yeah, I think it might have been the next day. So do you think that someone could have maybe put out a phone call and said, "Hey, this is happening. Think about it. Just think about it. Think about coming back. We want you."
Mm,
Do you think that phone call has happened yet?
I think it's highly possible. I know me and C Wrestling have talked extensively about him choosing to add that to his bio like the day before Vince got released, because from what we know, only people in his inner circle knew that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if Bray knew that was happening, why did he know that was happening?
Right. Right. It's a good question.
Is it possible that he re-signed months ago? Is it possible that they wanted to let him know that he was no longer going to be with the company in case he wanted to come back? Or we don't, because Windham hasn't done any interviews since he's been released. We don't really know what that backstory is. We don't know if there was, we don't really know if there was, bad blood there, or, arguments that they may have gotten in about direction of the character, or, we don't know if it was all sunshine and daisies. We don't know, because Windham hasn't told that story.
Right.
So we don't really know what the story is. So, which is why I've been bugging him for a while to come tell his story here.
Yeah. I mean, it's
You
fascinating.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Still waiting on that.
He's a man of his word, so I know what he said to me about that. I know he will do, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think that adds a lot of the unknown and cryptic nature to all of this, is just that he hasn't done any interviews.
Right.
We don't know what his side of the story is. We know what people have speculated. And obviously, if you know him to some degree, and you're friends with him, like, little things here and there, but he's never super forthcoming. he's even, being able to call him a friend, like, he's still cryptic. He's, and I don't know. So yeah, there's still a lot of mystery around how all that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of mystery and intrigue. And speaking of mystery and intrigue, I've got to throw this up there too. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last time. But he puts this out there, and it says, "I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open." Now, I'm going to throw this out to the chat and say, what do you make of this? What are your thoughts on this? While I throw that same question to Jodie and say, Jodie, what did you make of this when you first saw it?
I mean, we're very keenly aware initially that is a Bible verse. So, the first person that I reached out to was my buddy Elisha, who is a pastor. Because, I was like, oh my gosh, you have to dig into this for me. Like, and he sure did. He talks about, so this is what he told me when I said, give me some backstory on this verse and what this means. And he said it's referenced in Revelation as well. And about Jesus often referring to himself having keys, like the key of life and death and the keys of the kingdom. This key of David, this obviously is a verse from Isaiah 22:22. This is also referenced in Revelation 3:7. And as a pastor, he kind of said he believes it's a reference about that power of resurrection. So Jesus shut the door on death's power and opened the door to eternal life. So there's a lot of backstory on specifically, the house of David in the Bible. If you are a Bible reader, there's a lot of backstory to David. And Revelation, what did I say it was? 3:7?
I believe so.
So Revelation 3:7, it's similar. So he's writing to a church in Philadelphia, and he said, these are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. And if you leave it to just that particular verse, there's not a whole lot extra to it. But if you keep reading in the book of Revelation, it says, I know your deeds. See, I've placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and not denied my name. So, and then it says, I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. And since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world. So there's a lot. Revelation is one of my favorite books in the Bible. There's so much to unpack in it. So, Windham has said before that Windham is the key. So, and obviously we know that picture is from Dante's Inferno, which he's referenced before as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. He's really good at keeping you on your toes.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why we love him.
Yes. John G saying maybe Edge is the he's talking about in this tweet. Do you think that's possible?
What he opens, no one can shut. What he shuts, no one can open. It's possible. I mean, it just depends on, he could have been talking about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said before, Windham is the key. The key to what? Maybe that's the key he's talking about. The door that no one can shut. Or what, the door that he opens, no one can shut. And the door that he shuts, no one can open.
Because only he has the key.
Because only Windham is the key.
Just throwing that out there, folks.
Yeah. Windham is the key. We just don't really know where that key goes.
Right.
Yet.
Okay, so after he didn't show up on Saturday, there was a fan that tweeted out, "I take it back." And Windham says, "I don't make the rules. Sometimes the bad guy wins." Now, there's been a lot of speculation in terms of who's the bad guy and what rules and what are you talking about? What did you first think when you saw this response, Jodie?
You have to take it 20 different ways. Because 9 times out of 10, what he says isn't what he means. And I mean that in a good way. There's a lot of different ways you can take this too. He could have been talking about like the chat saying, Nick Khan, or the bad guy being, what if Edge is the bad guy? Or what if Roman's the bad guy?
Yeah.
We don't know who the bad guy is that he's referring to. But I think, part of what this means is, it's not everything is his decision.
Right. And I think sometimes with certain stories, we all have our own good guys and bad guys. And a lot of people in Windham's story, leading up to this point, maybe he was talking about whoever it was that released him.
He might not have been talking about wrestling at all.
And that was going to be my next point, is that he could have not been talking about wrestling at all. He could have very simply been just saying, "Hey, I don't make the rules. Sometimes," I mean, it could have been quite literally just saying, "I don't make the rules. Sometimes bad guys win."
I mean, that person responded to that picture of Dante's Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he was talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that sometimes the devil does win.
Yeah.
If you let him.
If you let him.
So it's very possible that, he may not have been talking about wrestling at all.
True.
He could have been just talking about life in general.
That's right. You know what? We should have some words of wisdom from Windham. say that 5 times fast. I don't even know how I just said it one time. Words
You
of
know
wisdom
what? If
from
I
Wyndham.
could get him to participate in that and just send me something little once a week, and we
Once a
can
week.
have your words of wisdom from Wyndham.
That would be tremendous. That would be absolutely fantastic. Let me see what other
It's funny.
let me see what the people are saying here. WWE fans saying on Edge's new Titantron, you can clearly see people falling to hell. Maybe the tweet from Bray is the hell and the dead people laying on the ground are the people who are falling off the mountain to hell. Okay. John G. Maybe Edge does the promo. He has someone with him when he confronts the Judgment Day, and then he comes back with Edge tonight on Monday Night Raw. Wow, there's a lot moving. You're exactly right. Eric saying with Wyndham, his tweets are usually not what they seem. You are correct.
True.
What's up, Nicole? How are you doing? Rabbit Earl just simply saying, I would die if Wyndham comes back and rules the WWE.
You know, wouldn't we all?
Yes, we would all love that.
But you know, at the same time, we want what's best for him, and if that's not what he wants, then that's not what he wants.
Right.
I do know, and hopefully he won't mind me telling people this. He misses it.
Mm-hmm.
I know he does.
I mean, I think he. What do you think he? What do you think he misses the most about it?
Honestly, the fans.
The fans, the interactions.
He has such a special bond with his fans. I could see that being one of the biggest parts that he misses is being able to interact with the fans. I think that's probably, if my intuition is correct, that's probably the reason that he's been doing meet and greets in the past year, because he doesn't want to lose that part of it. I think we matter as much to him as he does to us.
You know, that was going to be my next question to you, is that do you think that's why he's doing these meet and greets now?
Well, I mean, he said it to me on Twitter. He said, you know, when I said that he saved my life, he said, and you guys saved mine. So I think he feels just as much of a bond with us as we do with him.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to. John G is saying, so are you guys saying that Bray is coming back tonight on Raw? I'm not saying that. That I'm just speaking for me, John. This is Jeff. I'm not saying that. I don't think Jodie is saying that.
I think it's possible, but
who knows?
I think it's possible at any point at this point.
Cookie Kid on Fire. The chat is moving really fast, so if you could do me a favor and resend what you said, because I don't know, it's gonna take me a lot to try and go back up there. So just, I know someone said you had a good theory, but Edge takes the Fiend's power, keeping Bray locked in a door.
Ooh.
I will say this though, if he does come back, let's say he says that's why there was marks on the door. Okay, so someone trying to get out of that door. Okay.
Somebody's definitely scratching at that door.
And
that's why part of me feels like this isn't just Edge. It can be. There's too much involved in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many other pieces. Not just that Edge is going to need numbers, but there's too much in those promos to suggest that that somebody else is with him.
Right.
Whether or not that's Wyndham, I don't know. There's a lot of signs pointing to that it just might be. But I mean, like Rabbit Earl just said, Wyndham is the only person that knows when the time is right.
Absolutely. And if you're And if you're a fan of his, and Isaac just said this too, Bray could show up on Dynamite Wednesday for all we know.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's so very true. He could show up on Dynamite.
He could show up at my front door. I mean,
yeah, he could show up
you
at
just
Jodie's
never
front
know.
door. I mean, he could show up at Jodie's front door and quite literally just do this. Like, he could show up.
I'm just saying, like, you never know what he's gonna do.
Right. And that's what's so great about it is that that we don't know where he could show up, and that's the beauty of it. Let's see what Jesse says. It may have simply been circumstance. Edge was obviously meant to return at Madison Square Garden at Raw. He got delayed to SummerSlam for whatever reason. Bray may have been originally scheduled to join him at SummerSlam, but plans changed. Yes, that could have been the case.
I think his flight got canceled.
Yeah, I think
Some kind of travel issues.
Yeah, something crazy like that happened with travel. Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. He could show up wherever, whenever, and that's all fine. It's all good. I think if you're a fan of his though, if he shows up in AEW, if he shows up and control your narrative, we're all gonna rock with him. We're all gonna support him, right? If you're a fan.
Oh, and I told him that numerous times. Like, we're on the ride till the wheels fall off and set on fire. We're not going anywhere. Actually, after SummerSlam, I sent him a message out saying almost exactly that same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we're with you till the ride sets on fire.
Yes, we're here. Isaac saying, I think Cross could be coming alongside Edge tonight, possibly because there's an hourglass in one of the vignettes. That could you? Let's have a fantasy booking segment real quick. Could you imagine Judgment Day? Let's say the Judgment Day gets Deanna, get out of my head. Let's say that Judgment Day adds another member, and you've got Finn, you've got Damian Priest, and you've got another member, and then you get the Brood 2.0, and you get Edge, Karrion Kross, and Windham.
Oh my gosh! Shut up and take my money.
Can you imagine that being a 3-on-3 at a Survivor Series?
Gosh. I think we'd all collectively melt into a puddle. Like, done. Completely done. Stick a fork in me because we're done.
Just for the entrances alone. Yeah. I mean, forget, like, yeah, the storytelling would be immaculate. Yeah, add Scarlett. Exactly. That's what I mean. Add Scarlett. And then you've got Rhea in there. And listen, people who have slept on Scarlett's skills in the ring, she's a good wrestler, folks, if you've never seen her. So just saying, just throwing that out there. Isaac saying he would pass out, Deanna would fall over.
I would cry.
Alicia P says, I said that earlier. Nobody listen. I'm listening. I didn't see it earlier. The chat's been moving fast, but I'm listening, Alicia. That would be tremendous. And a lot of people are reacting to that right now. Yeah, Scarlett is an awesome wrestler.
She's really nice too.
Yeah, she was awesome. Killer Cross posted something on Twitter. What was it? Yeah, that's true too about Beth. That's true. 9 minutes ago. Eric saying he wore the shirt that you have on, Jody. He wore that shirt yesterday. Let's see what Cross posted. Key of David. Thank you, Alicia, for sending that. Let's see what Cross. Let's see. If you get there before I do, Jody, just read it out.
What am I looking for?
Killer Cross. Here we go. 9 minutes ago. Oh,
that's a picture of him and Scarlett with
an hourglass.
Hourglass.
Yeah.
He tagged an Impact Wrestling photographer in it.
It's interesting. From Ric Flair's last match last night. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Man, I love the energy in the chat tonight. I love it because you guys keep posting things. And listen, if I miss anything, I'm sorry. I promise you it's not intentional. Let's see. Richard saying, to continue that thought, Bray sends Scarlett after Miss Bliss for what she did. Okay. That would be interesting. Tyler saying, what if they teased Bray to return up to Clash and have him finally come out at the pay-per-view due to delays? Jesse, you need to get some food then. Jesse saying she's getting hangry. You need to get some food. Let's see. Rabbit Earl saying, Windham, if you see this, let me in. Chris Williams is saying, John G, I did not see your response, buddy. So
I think he said we'll wait and see.
Oh, okay, for tonight.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't know how much truth there is to this. WrestleVotes posted that Raw tonight looks really good. It's a packed show. So much so that USA Network is allowing the first hour to be commercial free if that's what WWE wants.
All right, let's break that down. Let's break that down for a minute before we go, because we got about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let you all know this right now. I'm gonna lay down because medicine. That's all I'm just gonna say. Medicine. Let's see. Do we think Wyatt has signed, considering the signings have stopped? I think everything is still in play, Tyler. But okay, so Jody, you just said that someone posted out there that Raw is like so big this evening potentially that even the
USA Network is saying that if WWE wants it, they can have the first hour commercial free.
That is insane to me.
When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question for the chat. That's a good question for the chat.
When was the last time WWE did something commercial free, even just for an hour? That's not saying that WWE is going to go for that. It's just saying if that's what they want.
It's a possibility. We could see a bunch of returns tonight. We could see a bunch of new stuff happen. Who knows?
But again, if we're getting a bunch of returns tonight, I could see Windham not returning tonight. You get what I mean? Like, I feel like he, like I said, he deserves that single spotlight because it will. He can't even say hi on Twitter without it breaking the internet. So if he shows up somewhere, nothing else on that show is going to matter.
So timing of when they do it is very important.
Like nothing else on that show, especially not to us. Like nothing on that show is going to matter if he comes back.
Yeah.
You know what else happened? I don't even remember because Bray came back.
Because honestly, if they did that tonight, let's just say
nothing else would matter.
I'll go ahead and let you know that if they did that in hour number 1, if they did that like to start off the show, the remainder of our watch along would be fantasy booking and oh my God, did you just see that? Like I guarantee you that's
Right.
what happened with our watch along. So and Twitter would just explode.
Yeah.
Joe brings up a good point. Let's see, before I get there though, John G says I think Raw before the Chamber. Unless they save it for the main event, says Isaac. Joe says if he comes back, you think we will get vignettes first? Probably several.
Haven't we already got some?
Hmm.
Are they slowly phasing him into those vignettes? Are we going to get more Edge vignettes? Are they going to slowly phase him into those?
You know what? That deserves, right?
I don't know.
I'm waiting for Jodie to take a sip so she doesn't spit it out.
Yowie, wowie.
Yeah, have we been getting vignettes already?
Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot to talk about. And I have a feeling that we're going to continue this discussion
in 45 minutes.
So, here's the deal, folks. We're gonna drop this right here. This was awesome. We have 83 people right now still in the chat with 1 minute to go. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you don't mind, please drop a like on the video before you go. And if you don't mind, and I don't know why I'm getting gamer messages for my son's gaming stuff. It's just randomly popping up now on my computer, which is awesome. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, and I saw a lot of new names tonight, welcome. Please consider subscribing before you go. Like I said before, drop a like on the video if you don't mind. Come back and see us at 7:45. We'll be back for our Raw watch along. Tyler Young, thank you for the dono. Saying the energy for Wyatt is massive. It will happen. Jesse.
Earlier this year or late last year, the last half hour or maybe the hour of SmackDown was commercial free.
Okay.
Before that, I'm seeing other people say it was like 2012. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Wow. That's okay. So this is going to be a big night. It's going to be a big night. If you haven't watched WWE in a while, go back and watch SummerSlam at some point because I guarantee you it'll get you going again. It was a great show, in my opinion. So, yep, WWE fan, as I said, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Jodie, any final parting words before we go?
We'll see you in 45 minutes.
See you in 45 minutes, folks. You heard it here first. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for Abby's Window. We'll be back for another episode of Abby's Window this same time next Monday. And maybe we'll have a lot more to talk about then. Who knows what'll happen between now and then. But check us out tonight, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Raw watch along coverage. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining, and hopefully we see you in a little bit. Take care.